Alright guys, so finally after many attempts, I have finally managed to complete Extreme Physical Super Battle Road. Now, what's funny is, all of the other stages of Super Battle Road, you know, Super AGL, Super Tech, you know, just go through all of them. None of them really took me that many attempts to beat. I would say I probably had, like, Extreme Physical, far and away, I had the most difficulty with. Number 2 is probably Super STR. And, like, if I really put it into context, it took me maybe 10 attempts at most to beat Super STR. But to beat Extreme Physical, it took me over 50 attempts. Like, not since my cooler has been rainbowed and, you know, Full Power Freeze has been Extreme Z-Awakened, but just in total attempts, it has taken me a ridiculous amount. Some teams, like Extreme Int, actually were very easy because, you know, once I got my LR Bojack rainbowed and Kid Buu rainbowed, it was just a walk in the park. And, like, they have fantastic units for actually going through the mode. But then other teams like Extreme Physical, I really struggled for a couple reasons. Now, kind of the big reason is, like, Extreme Physical is reliant on a lot of RNG with Cooler and Omega Shenron. Like, those are the two powerhouse units of the team, because they both have that guaranteed additional. And then, you know, physical units, you know, units that have that guaranteed additional are also much more likely to get a third additional. Also, we got supered a couple times in that opening round, which is rough, but that's why I began with a Whis item right there. Now, talking about Full Power Freezer for a second, his Extreme Z-Awakening was actually incredibly useful, more so than I could have ever imagined for Super Battle Road, because that is going to count as a super attack, because Frieza will get 3 ki for being in the first slot. That little thing alone was gigantic, because one of the issues with Extreme Physical is ki sometimes is all over the place. Sometimes it's very difficult to get all of the ki you need to get some of these super attacks off with a lot of these units, Omega, Cooler, Sin, and Full Power Frieza. So the fact that I was able to, like, you know, Frieza only needs to get to 9 ki and he'll be able to get his super, because being in the first slot, he'll get 30% defense as well as 3 ki. That is tremendously important. Not only that defensive buff, but also getting that 3 ki. Now, Extreme Physical, again, Omega is so important, but I don't have any dupes for Omega. Like, if your Omega is rainbowed, he can absolutely lay waste to Extreme Physical Super Battle Road. But because I only managed to pull 1 copy, he's good, and he does good here, but, like, he will literally do, like, double damage, or, like, damn near triple the amount of damage he does right now if he was only able to have dupes. Now, Cooler, I finally got Cooler rainbowed, so Cooler will be very impressive throughout the entirety of this run, defending, as well as doing a lot of other things. Cooler also, like, any turns where he gets 2 super attacks is, like, monstrous. So, like, this right here, bam, double super, goodbye, Borgos. That was gigantic right there. And then we have Buu tanks who can seal. So, as you guys can see, I have rainbowed a lot of units trying to beat Extreme Physical Super Battle Road, because try as I might, I kept getting fucked. I rainbowed Majin Buu Gotenks Absorb, because I felt as though his sealing ability would be very important in, you know, this mode, and it actually did come in handy quite a bit. Now, one of the things I'm going to try and do is get Buu tanks on a rotation with Full Power Frieza. Now, this will cause Full Power Frieza to do a little less damage, but those 2 units will share over in a flash. So Buu tanks will be able to super at will, because his sealing, again, is very important for many of these stages, because these fuckers, like, when they super, it just does so much damage. Like, it's insanity. So on this particular stage, I was actually very thrilled to have gotten this stage. There's, I think, 3 different ones you can get. You can get Goku and Gohan, Piccolo and Gotenks, and then the 2 Great Saiyamen right here. I think this is by far the easiest. And then the Piccolo and Gotenks one is a nightmare, because that physical Gotenks is a fucking monster in this mode. He attacks like 5 fucking times every turn. It's so frustrating. So I actually got really lucky here too, by the way. I remember this. I only recorded this like an hour ago or so, but we were actually able to take out Great Saiyaman number 2 right here because we got really, really good RNG luck with both Cooler and Omega right here. So boom, the double super with both of them. So we were able to wipe Great Saiyaman 2 out of here. Videl, be gone, my girl. So now it is just, Gohan as the Great Saiyaman right here. And he attacks afterwards, so we're going to be able to get Bootanks to actually seal him. Now, another important thing to remember, too, is that Bootanks actually shares Metamorphosis along with Final Form Cooler. So as much as possible, I try to get them linked together because that little health regeneration is very nice. But I felt as though the risk of Great Saiyaman supering in that first slot was a little annoying. So if Frieza's not in the first slot, I do actually have to get him 12 key. But this was a pretty good rotation. Like, all things considered, this is probably the best rotation, like, throughout the run I would have, is Bootanks, Cooler, and Full Power Frieza on the rotation together. Now, again, I'm going to keep Bootanks and Full Power Frieza together because that's the only way Bootanks will really consistently super attack because he has Over and a Flash. Obviously, he doesn't have other key links. So Physical Full Power Cooler does dominate here. Now, going through some of the other members of the team, obviously, we have Cooler. He is the leader. Both my Cooler and the friend Cooler were rainbowed, so that will allow us to really, really crush some of these fuckers. Obviously, Full Power Frieza has got his Extreme Z Awakening, which he does do a lot of fucking damage. Like, just in one single strike, he is the hardest hitter on the team. Now, also, I do a lot of jumping around, switching, and thinking right here. I wanted to avoid getting the physical orbs because I wanted to save the Dokkan attack, if possible, for the final stage. I think that's very important for Extreme Physical. So I was kind of like thinking if I wanted to avoid those yellows, and then if it was worth the hit from Great Saiyaman. Ultimately, I decided that even if Cooler can't finish him off, it's worth the extra hits from Great Saiyaman to kind of ensure that I push the Dokkan mode attack as far back as possible. But Cooler got a crit on the normal, and we were able to take Great Saiyaman down. So now we move on to the third stage, and we still have quite a few items left. So, again, Full Power Frieza, his attack went up quite a bit with his Extreme Z Awakening, and his defense did as well. But that little ability of only having to get to 9 key from the super is also so important. Now, obviously, Bootanks, pretty self-explanatory here. He is the sealer of the team. He will save us a lot of damage by having some of these fuckers, preventing them from super attacking. Now, Omega. Omega obviously is big. He does debuff the enemy with his passive. He probably would be the hardest hitter on the team if he was rainbowed like some of these other units. Like, the damage Full Power Frieza does, Omega basically does that, except he also is getting a guaranteed additional attack. Like, Omega is dumb OP powerful. He can take big shots. He takes big damage shots, though. So as much as possible, I try to prevent him from leaving him exposed to taking a lot of damage. Now, moving on, I also have Sin Shenron on the team. Now, Sin is rainbowed, and he is basically a big, like, attack link battery for Physical Omega. Like, Physical Omega will do a lot more damage with Sin Shenron linked up to him. So, as much as possible, I try and get those two together. And my Sin, because he's rainbowed, he is able to reduce a little bit of damage, and he's also able to like, get additionals. And I do give like all of my units nowadays 3 dodge when I 100% them in the dupe system, so that is also very helpful. And the last unit on the team we actually have is the Barbershop Nappa. Now, people really underestimate those Barbershop units. They are quite good, all of them, for the 120% teams. Now, the only thing I will say, of course, the physical 40% Super Boo is much better, significantly better. And he also heals 15% on Super, which would be a monster ability to have here on this stage. Like, that healing by 15% would be so gigantic, but I don't have him. So I figured I'd bring Nappa. Now, the other option I could have brought for a unit. Okay, so Omega gets a double super right there. That is fucking big. I could have brought King Cold, Super Strike King Cold. Because Super Strike King Cold, I believe he lowers enemy attack by 25% on his passive. So having him float around would be very nice in reducing the overall damage we would take. But, again, he quite often is an issue for extreme physical. And I wanted to avoid as much as possible getting physical orbs. Because I felt as though it was, like, essential that I get the Dokkan attack in the final stage for me to be able to win. So that's why I brought the Barbershop Nappa, because he always will be giving 2 ki to the entire team no matter what. And then there is a great chance, which I believe is about a 70% chance, that he will give an attack and defensive buff of 30% to the team. Which, again, like, if he's on a rotation with, like, full power Frieza and, you know, this Majin Buu Gotenks or full final form Cooler, he increases the amount of damage you're able to do by a lot. That crit right there, by the way, was monstrous. And then we get an additional super by Sin Shenron as well. Those 2 things are what allowed this run to definitely become a win right here. So this fucker is sealed. And now I think I should be able to get him taken care of before we get our Dokkan mode attack. Now, I use the Princess Snake here. As it turns out, I don't think I needed to use that Princess Snake whatsoever, because I think we're going to take Vegeta down. Omega's going to take Vegeta down. So we would not have taken enough damage to, like, we would not take enough damage to have merit using that healing item right there. So, like, as soon as I saw Cooler tear into Vegeta like this, I got a little nervous. I was like, oh, fuck. I really could have saved that Princess Snake for the final stage. I mean, I do still have a Ghost Usher, and obviously we are about to walk into that stage as well with a Dokkan mode attack, which is going to be fantastic, but I was a little concerned. Now, here's the thing, too. I did get a nice stroke of luck, because not only do we have the Dokkan mode attack, we're going to get it immediately on the final stage, but it's also the best stage I possibly could get for this Dokkan attack. Because there's 5 enemies, their health is spread out between the 5. If this was like, you know, obviously it's only with the hero types, but like the Majin Buu and Babidi fucking fight, where Buu has like 7 fucking million health or whatever he has, would have been really annoying. But here, because there's 5 fuckers, that health is going to be dramatically lowered between all of them. So if full power Frieza can get like a monster crit or something, we are going to be sitting pretty. Now, I decided, I think, eventually to have Cooler linked up with Frieza, because that will give him a little extra attack. And even though he does not actually at 12 ki right there, that is going to count as a super attack. Unfortunately, I was not able to get supers with either Cooler or Bootanks right here. This is what I'm talking about, with extreme physical having key issues. Now, because full power Frieza does the most damage on the team just in 1 shot, it was also perfect that I was able to get this Dokkan attack with him. And as you guys are going to see from the damage that this fucker does right here, like, this was just, like, absolutely beautiful. This was storybook right here, exactly as I envisioned, and why I was avoiding physical orbs as much as possible throughout the whole run, so that this could happen. Frieza basically annihilated all these fuckers, and then Cooler was able to get enough additionals to knock out Goku, and then Bootanks will take out Vegeta. Boom! There we have it. The final Super Battle Road stage has now been completed. So at this point, I have all the Super Battle Road stages done, and I can rainbow my physical LR Kid Gohan, which I am going to do, because I'm definitely going to rainbow all of the LRs. That's why I'm very excited for the next World Tournament, because I only need 1 copy of LR Tien and Chaozu to 100% them. So, real quick before we end the video, I just want to show that we have all of the stages cleared. Obviously, very fucking exciting. It's taken me a while, but, you know, with a lot of the LRs and shit I've got, I was able to clear these. And now we'll go ahead and just get the final rewards here in the tab, because I believe you get Kid Gohan for beating all super types, for beating all extreme types. I think you get 1 for beating it 20 times, and then you get 2 for beating every stage. So that right there, that too, that's for beating all 10 stages. And boom, I have all of the Nimbus Cloud missions done, which is really exciting as well. So last thing we'll do before we finish up the video, we will go ahead and toss all of the dupes into Kid Gohan. And again, I will be doing a 100% like video on the Kid Gohan very, very soon. Because as you guys know, anytime I 100% a unit nowadays, I actually go ahead and like do a video on it at the same time. So there we go. All Super Battle Road stages are completed. Very exciting. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to catch you guys next time.